everyone, and welcome to Everyday Gourmet. I'm Mick Sykes, and I'm here to show you my naan recipe. So it's been a long time, but now I'm back, and we're all in quarantine, and I've been going over some recipes that I've been doing for years, and I really wanted to share this one with you all. And naan, like a lot of Indian food, I'm West Indian, I'm from Trinidad, so my father's from Trinidad. So that incorporates a lot of East Indian cooking, and naan is one of those recipes that shows up in a different way. It's kind of similar to like Trinidadian or Jamaican roti, but the process is very simple, and you can do this at home. You probably have the ingredients in your kitchen already. We're gonna need some flour, some all-purpose flour. You're gonna need some whole milk, not 2%, not non-fat. You need whole milk. And you need some plain yogurt. I have non-fat Greek here. Whole fat regular yogurt works as well. This is what I happen to have in the house. Worked just fine. Got some salt, some sugar, some yeast, and butter. So the first thing that we're gonna do, and I'm doing this in a food processor just to save some time, and I got my dough hook in my food processor ready to go. So the first thing we need for our naan is 3 to 3.5 cups of flour. You may need more. You may need that half cup depending on how humid it is in your area. So I got one, and these hold up pretty good in the fridge for like a day or two without getting stale. I wouldn't store them in a second. Store them out in the open because they tend to get moldy really fast. So you got your 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour there. Then I have my instant yeast. This is yeast that I do not need to activate. I got the little Fleischmann's here, and we're gonna add 2 1/4 half teaspoon of salt. I'm using salted butter, so I'm not gonna add much more salt in there. And a tablespoon of sugar. That's gonna go right in there as well. And then I have 4 tablespoons of butter, like a 1/4 stick of butter, that I'm gonna dice up into cubes and put that in our food processor as well. So this is the dry ingredients part of our recipe. And I love Indian food. Like, not all of it is spice and curry like people think. There's a lot of layers and sophistication in the spice palette. Indian food, and something that I tend to make a lot, even in the summer months, because I like it hot all year round. I'm gonna be putting this on the grill later, which is a little unusual, but I'm testing something out. So I'll let you guys know how that works out. So this is in our food processor, and these are the dry ingredients. Before we add the wet, I'm gonna process this around to get that butter incorporated. And you want the butter to be spread around the flour like little peas. Oh, so you want to be able to feel it. It should feel slightly mealy. I'm gonna let this go a little bit longer. That butter is all the way incorporated. And that's good for now. That should be good. Let me check it. Yep, okay, got our butter in there. Now, what makes naan naan is almost forgot one important ingredient. To get that good rise and those good bubbles, I'm gonna do half a teaspoon of baking powder. So I'm gonna let that, because the cool thing about naan is it's like this pan-fried, traditionally flatbread that has these nice crunchy bubbles in it. And the way I like to get the most out of my bubbles is to add a little bit of baking. Get that baking powder mixed in there. Now our yogurt. I'm gonna add 1/4 of a cup of plain yogurt. Whole fat, non-fat, it doesn't really matter as long as the milk is full fat. But I know what it looks like. I've been making this for quite some time. That's 1/4 of a cup of yogurt. And then I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of milk, tentatively, because you may need more or less liquid. So that's why we're gonna add the liquid a little bit at a time to see if we need more or less. Like once the dough starts to form, you pretty much stop with the liquid. So I'm gonna go ahead and you want it a little bit drier than pizza dough. Just gonna let this go. So if you're doing this by hand, you guys can't hear me. If you're doing this by hand, it's a good time for me to check the consistency. Oh yeah, that's right. You're gonna need this for about 8 minutes, and that's a long time, but it needs all that. If you're doing this by machine, like if you have a KitchenAid mixer or one of these cool Ninja Blade things, let it go twice the cycle. So a cycle is about 4 minutes, 2 minutes, so you want to let it go twice. So about 4 minutes if you're using an electronic blender. When you're doing it by hand, I do it with music, so about 4, you want to knead that dough for about 4 or 5 starts. We're back. I've cleaned up a little, and our dough is all kneaded. Oh, jeez. Outside. I'm gonna pull this out, and I'm gonna spray. You guys, if you've seen my segment before, you know that I don't like fooling around with plastic wrap. So I've invested in one of these 99-cent store plastic bowls with a lid on it. We're gonna spray it with a little cooking spray, so it doesn't, so that our dough doesn't stick as it's rising. I like to start naan fairly early in the day because it needs a double rise. We're gonna let it rise first for about 2 hours initially till it's double in size, and then we're gonna roll it out, butter it, and then let it rise again for another 1.5 hours to 45 minutes. So it's good to give yourself enough time if you're planning to serve this with lunch or even dinner, to give yourself a good 4 hours of prep time to allow that dough to rise. You know it's done. It shouldn't be sticky to the touch. You shouldn't need any oil or flour on your hands. Just making sure I'm forming this into a nice, pretty little ball. And then I'm gonna put it in our bowl. Cover it. If you make sure you burp it. And then I'll see you guys in 2 hours. Welcome back, everyone. It is 2 hours later, and our dough has risen, and it has doubled in size, as you can see from when we first started out. So what we're gonna do is cut this up. I also have some clarified butter ready to brush over these. And I'm gonna add 3 grated garlic cloves into that butter, and just have that. We're mixing that into our butter, and I just melted this down in 30-second intervals. If you want to, you can buy ghee, which is clarified butter. You can find it in the Indian section of your supermarket. It's expensive. Just melt some butter. It's not that serious. I do it in 30-second intervals. So the butter doesn't burn, because you don't want it to get brown. So I just do it 30 seconds at a time until it's completely melted down, and then I stop it there and add the garlic after it's out. Because I don't want to cook the garlic now. So what I'm doing is I'm flouring my surface. We're gonna roll these out. For my ball, and I'm gonna cut this and divide for 6 pieces. These will be kind of big. 6 is good. We'll eat 6 naan. I don't want to have more than we need either. I'm gonna roll this out to a little ball right here on a floured surface. And there's no exact shape. You can do I'm not trying to get it perfectly round or anything of that sort. Just rolling it out here. It's about 1 inch thin. I'm just putting these here and let them set. And I'm gonna butter them all at once. So I'm gonna keep my. Now we are going to butter these and cover them in plastic wrap to let them get that second rise I was talking about. So I'm gonna brush bits of garlic. So now I'm gonna try to be really gentle Really gentle. And flip all of these over so I can butter the other side. I hate plastic wrap. I'm so bad with it. Okay. Peel it up. Okay, but this is the only way to make sure nothing gets on it. And it also has like some sort of like semi vacuum to trap the air as it's rising. We'll see what happens. So we're gonna show you guys that, so we'll know if it's a fail or not. I think it should work. So I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, so guys, we're here and we're getting ready to grill the naan. So like, this is an experiment. I don't know if it's gonna work. We had to re-roll it because it set a little bit too long before we put it outside. So I'm gonna add some butter. I should have cut this first. Right onto the grill and on the surface where we're gonna put our naan, because we had to roll back in the butter that after it like set too long. And I'm really just ripping into this with my hands like a savage.
Black people aren't savage, we're thrifty. We're resourceful.
Okay. Put this down here. Let me wipe off my hands. This butter is melting. Actually, I want to kick a little heat up under there. Don't try this at home. Okay, so our butter is melted down. Some of it anyway. And now I'm going to be really gentle. I should have just left this over here and put our naan down on the grill. Set this down. Try to roll it way up a little bit. And then roll it back out. Hopefully this works. All right, and we'll let you guys know if it was a fail or not. Thank you for watching Everyday Gourmet, and don't forget to follow. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook at Everyday Gourmet NJ. And yeah, okay, and it's not a fail. Like, it actually worked. The naan looks great, and so we're gonna have that with our dinner tonight.